One of the neighbors left a couple of jugs of moonshine sitting on my range. Guess what's going to happen to them? They got empty. They didn't get blown up because I'm just shooting 45 Colt. It's not one of those blow-up rounds, but you don't want to get hit by one. 250 grains of lead would not be nice, right? So, yep, 45 Colt out of a Smith & Wesson mountain gun. Do not tell anybody. I am shooting it on relatively flat land because I am not supposed to be doing that. See what it says on that thing? Mountain gun. So, do not report me to the FBI for doing this, because this is not the mountains. So it's really designed for the mountains, okay? Keep that in mind. 45 Colt. Yep, a newer gun to me. I have always wanted kind of a mountain gun. They make them in 44 and 45, I guess, maybe some other calibers. I don't think they do. Maybe they did or do. But I just finally, after all these decades, talked to you about it, showed it in a Sunday morning shoot around a few weeks back maybe. And I just have always passed on them, but I've always liked them. I like the looks of them, the fact they are chambered usually in 45 Colt, 44 Magnum. That's an appeal. Big old end frame Smith & Wesson, right? And I like that contour on the barrel. They're like a Model 27 Smith & Wesson or a Model 24, you know, 44 Special, where you don't have as much weight in the barrel. And I've got it opened up, and you can kind of see the barrel doesn't have as much meat in it. You know, whereas a normal Smith & Wesson barrel, you see that one. I'll hold up this. This is also a 45 Colt, but you got a thicker barrel all the way out. You know, whether it's a 4-inch or a 6-inch. You know, so that's why it's a mountain gun. You can carry it a little more easily. It's lighter, but it's still in a pretty serious chambering. 45 Colt, 44 Magnum. Okay, not as heavy, and you can tell when you pick them up, they're just not that bad. So that's what that is. It's a mountain gun. Here I am shooting it illegally, breaking the law, shooting it on flatland. But thought you might be interested in seeing it, okay, and knowing a little bit more about it. 45 Colt is not a Magnum, you know, which is okay. It's plenty strong, and I've got some of those Underwood extreme penetrators here, 250 grain. I'll shoot some of those at some point. And you know, those are nice. They they apparently penetrate extremely, and they got a pretty nice punch to them. You can tell you're shooting something that's a little warm, and I guess I'd be comfortable carrying that in bear country. 45 Colt with that great bullet in it that is proven, as I understand. And you know, so there. Well, we just go ahead and do that. You want to? Yeah. Let's not delay. So, extreme penetrators. Yeah. I don't have a test medium here. We don't do a lot of that kind of thing, but we could shoot something that it will penetrate, don't you think? How about this jug here? I know what we could do. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Do I need to sit down? I'm gonna have to sit down. I'm gonna try to shoot through that jug and hit that stop sign. How's that? There we go. I got a good line of sight. Now, I'm also going to end up with a shower, right? All right. Well, it hit the plate down there. Okay. See it swinging? That one right there. So, yeah, went through and hit that plate. Let's see. While I'm sitting down, what else do I want to shoot? I never get to shoot sitting down. I penetrated that pretty well. How about that bowling pin? I missed it. Let's penetrate the buffalo. Click. All right. Enough fooling around. Maybe, yeah, next time I think I'll just sit down and do all the shooting. It's kind of relaxing. So, yeah, you can put some pretty warm stuff there. And, you know, 45 Colt is no slouch. Again, it's not a Magnum, but it's no slouch. The Smith & Wesson, they were Of course, they're famous for the top breaks, you know, the Schofield and the number 3s and the you know, those Model 3s back in the 1800s, right? And then later on, they went to a swing out cylinder at the end of the century, you know, kind of around the turn of the century, I guess, 1800s into the 1900s, and they had their triple lock, you know, 44s and all that. And then when World War I came along, we needed guns, and both Colt and Smith chambered their big frame guns in 45 ACP, and this is a Smith & Wesson model 1917 you've seen before, I hope. And it is a 45 chambered, you know, for World War I. Takes the clips, moon clips, half moon clips in 45 ACP, the shorter cartridge. And you know what, I got one in my pocket. I meant to bring one out for that reason. So it's chambered for that, you know, the shorter one, but it's a 45. Okay, so that's when we got into our 45s, I guess, and that was handy. And then later, I mean, it evolved. What was a Model 22 or something in 45, a nicer 1917 kind of model. And then this one was made in the 70s, and it's a 45 Colt Smith & Wesson. It's a Model 25. Okay, chambered for the same cartridge we're shooting today, 45 Colt. You've seen that one too, probably. And then I guess it was in the 80s they came out with the stainless models, the 625, which is what this one is. And some of those were in 45 ACP. I had one, used to compete with it in USPSA matches in revolver competition. And it had the underlug and had a regular barrel, kind of like this one, but the full underlug. They were generally about 5-inch barrels, I think. It was a nice gun. I kind of regret never selling that after I quit competing so much. That was a 45 ACP, you know, with moon clips and everything. They still make those, I think. Maybe it's in the Performance Center, but I think they still make those. Okay, and all these 625, some of them are 45 ACP, some are 45 Colt. Okay, but they're all 45s, and they both are, you know, really popular cartridges. The 45 ACP, it just doesn't get much more popular than that. And then the same with the 45 Colt since 1873, right? And so they would go back and forth, and you could get them chambered in either round, different times. And so this one, 45, you know, long Colt, 45 Colt, is a better mountain gun, quote unquote. Because when you call something a mountain gun, you're really implying, aren't you, if not directly stating, okay, this is maybe bear defense, you know, something bigger in the mountains that you might need a firearm for, right? Which, nothing wrong with the 45 ACP, but a long Colt, a little more potential there, right? And so that's kind of how those all sort of came about. And I say I've always liked these. I've made a little bit lighter, again, because the barrel cut down the way it is in terms of tapering, and then not being all that long, 4-inch. So you got a very comfortable firearm to carry, but still a big end frame and nice grip, and just always wanted one. All right, that's kind of where I like to hold, if that was correct. Yeah. Let's try the Buffalo. Boom! How about the Ram? Our logo. Nice trigger. I didn't mean to fire it yet. Yeah. So the only miss was when I didn't mean to fire. I was almost on target. I don't know about you all, part of it's good for safety reasons over the years, and I think most of the ranges where probably most of us shoot, it's more dangerous to be shooting up in the air than it is right into the ground. So I just always tend to get out there and then bring myself up on the target slowly, boom, when you're up there where you need to be, pull the trigger. Just seems like it makes the most sense. And not just for that reason, you're seeing the target as you're moving your gun up, right? So I guess if you're hunting or whatever, that would just make more sense, rather than covering up the target with your hand and the gun, then coming down, oh, there's the target. But anyway, so if I let one get off just a little too soon, it's always going to shoot low getting out there.